Hi guys, welcome to the video. So today we're going to do a stealth run on what I believe to be the hardest stealth mission, which is the extract intel mission. So loadout wise, we're bringing the silo, we're bringing the C4 pack, the hover pack and the jump pack. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, you will know that the hover pack is there to help us hide on extract at the end whilst we're waiting for Pelican 1 to land, because basically there is usually 1,001 patrols as you're waiting for Pelican 1. Okay, so we pick up the C4 pack first of all, and basically my tactic for stealth runs is to have 2 points of where I bring down the supplies. One is usually on extract and the other one is usually somewhere halfway across the map from extract. So you can kind of go back and forth between those points to pick up more supplies, to pick up anything else you need. And the reason we've brought the silo today is because we have the bio-engineer thingy-mabobby. Can't remember what it's called now. We'll find out later as we go through the video. I'm going to use that to possibly silo 1 or 2 of those, depending on if we can get the C4 onto the objectives. So there's usually between 3 and 5 biomass, whatever they're called. Since the C4 has been buffed, I think it can now take out the biomass tubes quite well, whereas before it wouldn't take them out with a single C4. Now I think it's either 1 or 2. I throw 2 on just to be sure, but I imagine it's probably just the 1. Okay, so as I said, we get our C4 pack down at the start along with everything else, and then what I normally do is I go around as many outposts as possible with my C4, and I tag the old fabricators with the C4 bricks. So as you can see here, we're just doing that. And you do have to be careful where you throw the stuff. If you're in the eye line of a Hulk or a reinforced rocket strider, they will actually see you. So you have to make sure you're not in their eye line whilst throwing stuff. I have noticed now that you can throw C4 on the Hulks and not aggro them, as long as you're behind them or to the side of them, I guess, which was not the case previously. So perhaps that's something they updated in the last patch, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's certainly good news for us, because sometimes there is a Hulk in the way of something that you want to get rid of, and you can perhaps drop a C4 on him and then come back later. There is still some jank in the game when it comes to stealth though, unfortunately, as we will see in this game a bit later on. Okay, so we're moving on to the fortress here, and I do still have a video up on how to stealth all 4 different variations of the fortresses against the automatons with the C4. So that's still on my channel if you'd like to have a look at that. But that one you can kind of sneak up there as long as you come from the side and sneak up as I just did there. The turret there shouldn't see you. If you go in front of those base turrets, they do spot you, similar to the factory striders, the dogs, similar to tanks, similar to Hulks, similar to reinforced rocket striders. Those are the kind of 4 or 5 main culprits of stealth jank enemy, in that they do see you when they probably shouldn't. Okay, this one you can sneak up on, and so if you tag it like I've just done there, and if you get within 35-40 meters away from it, you can angle it in a kind of, maybe 45-degree angle there, and chuck it on top. So it's fairly doable. Just make sure you stay low when you come back around the corner because there's a base turret there. And the trouble is, if the base turret sees you, then chances are almost everything else on the map will know where you are as well. So that is one of the issues I have with the stealth on this game. And unfortunately, the way stealth works as well, I've found, is that stealth works much better on stealth missions, whereas it doesn't work so well on missions that aren't specifically set up for stealth. If you do a mission that's not specifically set up to be a stealth mission, it's not, you know, it's not labeled as a stealth mission, then you can get bots from all over the map just running towards your location because you've blown up a fabricator that's halfway across the map. It's just insane. I was trying to do a few today, and I kept getting a lot of janky moments where things just went completely sideways when they really should not have done. Turrets spotted me when they should not have spotted me, stuff like that. Blowing stuff up from halfway across the map, and then all of a sudden, like the nearest patrol of bots just honed in on my location. Okay, so one of the hardest parts about stealth, especially now since they've increased the amount of patrols on the automatons after the latest patch, is that you have to know when to duck and crawl and, you know, what's the word for crawling when you're crouched? Crouch along, whatever that is, no idea. So you have to do a lot of very slow movements, which obviously does make things take a bit longer. Okay, so I'm out of C4 now, so I've tagged an area that's kind of central in the map. And I'm going to bring in my Super Destroyer for my second time, which is the last time I'm going to be able to do that. I'm bringing down my silo and my C4 pack. Luckily, my hover pack and jump pack are just back, which I didn't realise I was bringing it in that quickly. So I get lucky there because I do need the jump pack in this location. The hover pack is not so much of an issue, but the silo, the C4 is not so much of an issue, but the silo and the jump pack I definitely want to get in there. Okay, so we get some supplies down as well. Then we head back to the fortress to see if we can tag the last, I think it's the last 2 fabricators at this point. So one on top there, fairly easy. Again, I always tag it just to be sure, and this one I always throw 2 on because I can never quite tell. Maybe I don't this time. Most of the time I can't quite tell if it's been what's the word? If it's been tagged with the C4 or not. This one you can usually get away with sniping 3 or 4 enemies here if you don't miss. So the reason I've got the laser sight on is that if you're quite some distance away, then the laser is a little bit lower, although at this range it's almost the same. But the laser tends to be a little bit lower than the actual scope, or the reticle in the scope, or whatever you want to call it. And what that means is when you're a bit further away, you want to be lining up the shot with the laser sight, not the scope, or the, you know, obviously it's in the scope, but what I mean is that kind of dot in the middle of the scope. I guess it's called, is it the reticle? So yeah, so when you're a bit further away, use the laser to line up the shot. So anything over kind of 50-60 meters, I guess, and that will then get you the hit, because there is bullet drop on the sensor. Unfortunately, I think if there wasn't bullet drop on it, it might even be better than the regular diligence. But because of the bullet drop, it just loses out to the regular diligence for me. But still a fantastic weapon, as I said, and obviously much better than any other weapon or primary weapon, I think, on these stealth missions. Okay, so we're going to stim, get our stamina back, pick up some more supplies. So we're full on everything. So the main thing, obviously, we want to be full on is the stamina and the C4, because we're going to be going around now. So what I tend to do is I try to pick up the cards as I go, depending on how difficult the cards are to get in these extract intel missions. So you have to get 3 key cards first before you can then pick up the intel. And my tactic for doing that, I'll explain the tactic once I get there. Maybe I think I actually C4 this outpost first. So another reason why these missions are a little bit harder these days is because they have increased the amount of outposts on the map. And so there you can see I'm lining up the laser and not the reticle, and it got a perfect shot. I absolutely shit my pants when that tremor kicked in. I thought someone had spotted me, and I'll be honest, that was not the first sorry, that's not the last time that happens in this mission either. I've completely forgotten there were tremors on this planet, or maybe not forgotten, maybe didn't even realise. It's probably more the case. Okay, so I've spotted the 3 biofuel thingamabobs over there. So just tagging them. Tagging them for no other reason than to just camp them, really. So 3 is not bad, because sometimes you can get 5. Although that may be on regular missions, perhaps not on the stealth ones, I'm not sure. Okay, so this key card, we're nearby, so we're going to sneak in and try and get this one. Well, that's the idea at least. So my tactic is to come around the edge, and then when you are around the edge, you can see this little white dot. And that little white dot indicates the actual key card. So then you know where the key card is located. So that makes things a lot easier. And then it's just a case of figuring out how to get in there. What's the best way to go? What's the best, sneaky place to come in and get the key card? I was very wary of bots coming out of this fab, so I'm kind of taking my time here. And I really don't want to be going in there, trying to pick up the key card in front of a Hulk, and then getting spotted by the Hulk because they're so janky. And then eventually, things hit the fan, and by things I mean the shit. The shit hits the fan, and then you end up like ruining the entire mission, basically. Okay, so because there's a patrol there as well, I decided to just move on to the next section, trying to lie down there, but obviously the hill is too steep. These guys can also see you if you're crawling in front of them. Perhaps if you stay still for too long. I'm not entirely sure what their deal is, what the rules are around those marauders. But as you can see, another patrol has kind of scuppered my plan, so time to just rotate around a little bit. So I've got 3 guys that can possibly spot me in a minute. So I always shoot these guys in the arse if possible, because I just find that's the most convenient and reliable way to get a one-shot off them. So another piece of advice is do not climb on top of fabricators when you're trying to stealth, because for some reason I've had it in the past that if you climb on top of a fabricator, it will alert a few people to your presence. Okay, so just tagging the the bioprocessors to get the distance, and then I can throw the C4 on top of them. And as you can see, I think I throw 2 here, 2 on each. Again, I'm not entirely sure at the minute what the demo force is required to one-shot them. However, even if it was just one C4, I still think I'd throw 2 just to be safe. So, out of C4. Oh, not out of C4, sorry. Look, I've got one in hand. Because the indicator is white down at the bottom left of the screen. So, going back in here to see if this is any easier to pick up now that that patrol has buggered off. And I get the fright of my life. Because that trooper just comes around the corner, which, as I said earlier, those were the ones I was afraid of. So my plan now is to just explode that fab and then come back later, and then hopefully that will obviously get rid of the chance of any bots spawning out of it and seeing me, but it might give me an easier way in. So sometimes you do have to kind of go back and forth between objectives. So heading back to our our base, our second base. So we'll stim there to get some stamina back and pick up a new supply pack. So as long as you keep the same trigger, then you can switch backpacks with the C4. The detonator will detonate everything still. But if you swap the trigger, then it's a no-go, I'm afraid. Okay, so we're heading over here to the link pods, reinforcement pods. The idea is not to die, of course, on these stealth missions. Because if you die, you've been spotted. And if you've been spotted, it's not very stealthy. But obviously, they're side objectives. So we want to get them done for the full clear. So we're heading over to another keycard area. And this layout is exactly the same as the previous one we've just been to. And again, the keycard happens to be in the same place. That's not always the case. Sometimes it's in different areas. But I'm just thinking, you know what, fuck it. Maybe same ploy as the other one. I'll just have a quick look around here. So there is a Hulk there as well. So I don't really want to risk it.
Dropping a pin.
So we're just going to keep moving around the map, getting things done. And whilst we've still got some C4 on us, we're going to go and do another outpost. And it would be nice if you could detonate everything all at the same time at the end. However, because of those 2 key cards not being in places that I think are particularly easy to get to due to the Hulks being in the way, we're going to have to detonate a bit early on this one.
Fire in the hole.
There's not many times. In fact, I don't think I've ever detonated everything all at once on a mission, just because of the jankiness and some of the stuff I've needed to do previously. So yeah, as I was saying earlier, I was playing a regular mission and trying to stealth it, and I took out those 2 guys, as I did exactly just there. And when I took the first one out, the second one looked up and had heard it. However, you saw just then that was not the case this time round. And I think that that's because when you play proper stealth missions, like dedicated stealth missions, the bots actually behave differently to when you would play a normal map and try to stealth it, which I think is ridiculous. Really should not be the case. If I want to be able to stealth a regular mission, I should be able to be afforded the same kind of behaviors on both cases. But obviously Arrowhead have chosen against that for whatever reason.
Dropping a pin.
So yeah, as you can see, that last fab there, I got two C4s on it. And again, any time where I think I might not have actually reached the fab or I can't see it on it, I might throw a second one. So we'll snipe him out with the tactic of using the laser sight because he's quite far away. And then we're going to keep moving around. We'll snipe him as well. Just waiting for that patrol to fuck off.
Helldiver, you are moving outside the mission area.
Okay, out of the combat zone. That does happen a couple of times, which is quite annoying, as you can imagine. Especially when there's like several patrols going through and around the area, and they can go wherever they want. They don't have to abide by the area, whereas you do. Not really ideal, but we managed to get past that one fairly easily, so that's not a problem.
Objective near your
Okay, so another reinforcement pods thing, but I think we're gonna blow the, detonate our C4 here.
destroyed.
So as we see, the fortress is still up. However, half the map is now disappeared.
Objective
So we're gonna head back over there after we do. Oh, have we done these pods? Oh, the pods are done. Sorry, ignore me. So we're gonna head back to extraction, to our base where all of our stuff is. And I think, if I remember rightly, we get more supplies maybe for the C4 and carry on round. I could be wrong. Maybe I'll get the jump pack. Jump pack and silo. Ah, yeah, jump pack and silo. So drop that. Get the silo. So as you could also see on the map, the bioprocessors processors are still up. So I think we took out 2 of the bioprocessors with the C4, if I remember rightly. However, there's still one left, and that's what we're probably going to use the silo for, just to finish that one off. And sure, we could get the C4 pack in the middle of the map there, and we could go and C4 it. However, these missions really are quite time consuming. It doesn't seem like you're doing much, so the missions do feel slower. But yeah, there is still quite a lot to do, and with all the sneaking around and ducking and crawling, it really does take quite some time to get these done. Okay, so I'm going back to one of the keycard outposts where I blew up one of the fabs. So hopefully now the fab is no longer there, which is affirmative. And now I can sneak in and get the card. And the reason I took my jump pack off there is because sometimes when I press climb, my jump pack goes off because they're the same button, even though they're slightly different instructions. Okay, so no idea why he's just turned around and seen me there. Anyway, I just thought, fuck it. I'm getting out of there. And again, no idea why the gas grenade changes back to your weapon after throwing it once. Sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. Again, I've got no explanation for that. It's pretty Helldivers janky, classic arrowhead stuff. But we got lucky there. We got away with a couple of smoke grenades. None of the little dudes obviously saw us. And we didn't get shot, etc. Although they almost got us. And we got the keycard and we're out of there. Oi. Okay, so onto the next area. So I've tagged the orange, the keycard, the next keycard of the third of 3. So debating whether to pick supplies up there or not. Decide against it because I've still got 2 stims and 3 grenades. So that should do me for now.
No pain, no
And the
freedom.
keycard I don't think is too far away. So I use a stim there. Because we do want to get things moving quickly. So obviously after that last debacle, I'm going to be very wary about going into the next area for the keycard, because this one, as you probably remember, is in the exact same location as that one. That last one was next to a Hulk, next to a Shield Devastator, in a part where there is no fab anymore because that's been destroyed by the C4. So again, drop the jump pack because I don't want to accidentally set it off. And I'm lucky because there's no Shield Devastator there. However, there is still some more jank to come. Because usually when you're crouching like this, you can pick the key card up. However, I'm trying to crouch. It's not happening. I think the Hulk hears me here. So I smoke grenade, or perhaps I smoke grenade it and then grab it. I can't quite tell because I can't hear the sound of the video, unfortunately. So yeah, managed to get that one okay. I think he must have not heard me, otherwise they'd have been all over me like white on rice, basically. Okay, so luckily I've taken out these few guys on the right there already, so I can mosey on through here with impunity. Gonna try and kill 2 birds with 1 stone by heading over to the reinforcement pods, and at the same time hopefully take out the last of the bioprocessors with the silo. So jump back over, get that on the move, try to have a bit of a scout at the processors while I'm here. However, I'm out of range of the pods, so I have to go back, unfortunately. That's all good. So yeah, once this is done and once we've taken out the bio processors, fingers crossed, we can then head back and try and finish off the fortress, which obviously 1 or 2 of the C4 did not deploy, or did not, you know, for whatever reason that has not worked for us. So trying to tag the objective here, trying to get a good line of sight on it. Probably should have used the sensor to tag it, but managed to get there in the end with the silo pointer, whatever you want to call that. So this is another return to combat zone jank area. So yeah, bots start firing wildly. No idea why they're firing on me. Surely they haven't seen me, but God knows. I'm so used to being spotted for absolutely no reason at all in this game now. It's just, yeah, infuriating basically. So we're going to have to go the long way around here because there's a hell of a lot of patrols around.
Dropping a pin.
And there's still quite a few enemies in the bioprocessors area, whatever you want to call it. The location. So luckily, that's why we brought the jump pack. Not luckily, plan ahead basically. We brought the jump pack for this very reason, to give us really good mobility to get across the map quickly. So if we need to, you know, hot-foot it away, get out of danger, or if we need to get across quickly to get an objective done, that's where the jump pack comes in extremely handy. And it's going to come in even handier later on in the mission as well, which I won't say too much about now, but you guys will see if you continue to watch. Okay, so we're heading back to the center of the map where we had our second base, and I don't really want to silo the fortress unless I really have to, because it's I kind of feel like it's a little bit cheating to use the silo on the stealth mission. Fair enough for the the bioprocessors, because you know, it's a little bit different. However, when it comes to the fortress, you can quite comfortably stealth that with the C4, so there's no real excuse. I've got 10 minutes left, which is It isn't as much time as you think, but it's still enough to come and C4 a fab or two, and then head back and get my jump pack, and then move on our way. So I'm coming down here, trying to see which one it is. I was thinking it was this top one, which I find a bit difficult, but it's not. So trying to get a line of sight here. See if I can see any fabs. There's one in the bottom corner there, usually, but that seems to be gone. Can't see any at the back there. And perhaps I could have just used one in the hand and used the jump pack as well. But then there is a danger of, you know, what if you've missed two? Okay, so there is fab I missed, and I actually threw two on that, so no idea how I fucking missed that. So there is a patrol coming to the left there. So I think that second one definitely landed, but I throw a third just in case. And quickly too because of the patrol, and I want to get the fuck out of there. I want to get a little bit of distance before I blow the thing as well. Because obviously that patrol's nearby. I don't want to blow it when they're able to spot me.
Tagging map.
So I'm going to detonate it now because I don't want to be waiting till later. That's fortress destroyed. So good stuff so far. Now comes the incredibly high pressure moment. The final moment. And I've tried this a couple of times and not realized exactly where the intel was. So I failed it because I didn't have the knowledge, basically. It was not the skill of sneaking in and stuff like that. I was able to do all that stuff. However, I just couldn't figure out where the intel package was on both occasions. But I've figured out how to spot exactly where it is now, so I'll let you guys know. I'll let you guys in on that knowledge, on that little... I don't think it's a secret. I'm sure plenty of people know. However, it is quite useful when you're doing these missions, and obviously this is going to be your last port of call if you're trying to solo the majority of the time, I would guess. Especially if you're going for full clear. I always say leave the final main objective till last on any mission, basically. That way you get less patrols spawning in, and the bots are less accurate, and they're less aggressive. And it's the same with the bugs. You get less patrols, less aggressive. Obviously the bugs aren't. I guess the bugs are accurate with regards to when they hit you. Okay, so that is how you can tell where the data is going to be, and it's in that kind of weird ass satellite dish. Or it's underneath there, I should say. It's not in it. There's a little portal at the bottom. Okay, so obviously we want to be careful that no bots come out of that fab. And also we want to be careful of that little bunker there, which I completely missed. I think I heard a noise and then went prone because I was like, hang on a minute. Who's that? That was pretty lucky.
Objective nearby.
So yeah. So I want to take him out because he's going to be in the area. So he's quite close, so we can just use the reticle for that one. And then sometimes you get a few bots up here. Sometimes not so much. So the data is just to the left of us in that little kind of... I don't know what you'd call it, like a box. You have to press the button. And then this is incredibly frustrating. Not a clue what the fuck these guys are doing here. Okay, and so I'm going to grab this package in a moment, which is just a two-step thing. And then there's going to be a mistake shortly, and I'm not going to mention anything for a while. I'll let you guys wait and see. And let me know if you guys see the mistake. Okay, so accidentally grab that turret. So get off the turret, throw a smoke down because a couple of bots have shot at me, and there is a bot drop detected, and I'm heading on my way. Okay, so off we go.
Fire in the hole.
So just spamming the smoke grenades because I've no idea if they can see me from there. I've no idea if the smoke works properly or not. So just spamming them, and it looks like we've got away with it. So now it's just a case of heading back to extract, right? So again, patrols for days, so you have to be very careful here. So that guy immediately cottoned onto me, even though I'm quite some distance from him, and I have moved quicker, closer to other enemies, which made me think that perhaps because there was a bot drop and the hive mind of how enemies work, perhaps now all enemies are on alert because there was a bot drop recently, which I wouldn't be surprised. That's kind of another one of the stealth janks, and it certainly works much worse when you're on a regular mission. If there's a bot drop somewhere and you throw some smoke behind you and you run away, then you still get spotted by random patrols like a lot easier than you should do, and they start moving towards you, etc. Really janky stuff, unfortunately. Okay, so 3.5 minutes roughly to get back to extract. So again, that's why we bring the jump pack, obviously. I guess we're out of stims, so we're going to lie down to get some stamina back. Because that's the quickest way to get stamina back, is to lie down and crawl. I think that's on one of the tidbits when you're dropping in. Lying down, or maybe it's, excuse me, maybe it's not. So if you don't know, lying down gets your stamina back the most, crawling the second most, and obviously standing the least. Okay, so back we come. And then I'm like, hang on a minute. It's just twigged. Where the fuck is the package? I'm like, I can't have left it there, surely. But it's, I mean, you can see from the map, it's there. And I was like, what? Did I just not pick it up? So, as I said before, I've tried this mission a couple of times. It hasn't worked. Because I've failed at the last instance. So, I'm like, nah, fuck it. I'll be damned if I'm gonna not... I'll be damned if I'm gonna fail it again. So, head back and get some supplies. So I've got some stims. And what I'm going to do here, because this is going to be incredibly boring to watch, it's just a case of me going back. I'm going to, like, 2 or 3 speed this section for you guys, so it will go through quicker, and you might want to skip forward a little bit as well, and then you can obviously get to the point where I pick up the card and then tune in again. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so welcome back. So yeah, we'd forgotten the card, so I come all the way back, and I'm looking on the map. Hang on a minute. So what had happened was that I did pick it up originally, but then when I went onto that turret by mistake, it dropped out of my hand because I went on the turret. So absolute nightmare. The time has run out now. We've got 1 stim left, which we just used to get stamina back, obviously. I think going back the other way might be too much of a stretch. So I'm going to try this way. So this is what I was alluding to earlier with the jump pack coming in super, super clutch. And it's this moment here where I've accidentally dropped the intel package. Thought I had it in my hand still. and I've gone all the way to extraction like an absolute plum. And now I'm jetpacking my way across the map, there and back again, to try and complete the mission. So trying to crawl and get stamina back here because crawling is a little bit quicker. And we've only got 40 seconds left at this point. So crawl, get the old jump pack on the go, obviously. Run, run, run. So yeah, I'm going to start wrapping up now. So overall, successful mission if we can make it onto Pelican 1 in time. The loadout I think is really good. It's the main loadout I take for all these missions, pretty much. I'll swap it for the railgun if I know I've got anti-air. I'll swap something for the railgun, like maybe the silo for the railgun if I know I've got anti-air. Or maybe the hover pack if I don't need the hover pack. But these missions you can stealth fairly okay to a degree. However, regular missions seem to be a lot more janky. Okay, so we'll take him out. Make sure we've got the package in our hands for sure this time. And on we go. Okay, yeah, so that's the retrieve intel mission, dudes. Thanks for watching. I really enjoy these missions. I think they're a fresh breath away from the carnage that is, you know, what's going on usually with Helldivers 2. You can just kind of methodically go around the map and just relax, take your time. They are a bit easier, I think, as long as you know you got your stealth down. Fingers crossed Arrowhead do fix the jank sooner or later, because there is still a bit of jank on these proper stealth missions, and there is still a hell of a lot of jank on the regular missions as well, I think. But yeah, that's the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and if you did enjoy, please think about liking and subscribing, and I'll leave you guys with the numbers. Cheers.